Greetings, YouTube. This is Fragments of Memory, aka the Armchair Philosopher. I want to talk about a YouTuber by the name of The People's TV. I think I'm saying that correctly. One of the things The People's TV brought up in me is a change of perspective. We're very quick to assume that because a brother's been on the streets, he's a horrible human being, that he is somehow immoral, or that someone that hasn't been on the streets hasn't done their crime or done their dirt. Where we know many criminals that have done legitimate things that are legal, but are not necessarily morally correct. Now, he seems to be a brother that's worldly wise, and probably a brother from the streets. Now, I'm not a street brother. I'll tell you that in a minute. I'm probably as square as they come. I love comic books and I read sci-fi and I like Doctor Who. I'm square as they come. And that is who I am. But he made me really rethink some things about the so-called thug dude. Because I've been guilty of saying, oh, all these women want these thug brothers, these sagging pants, backward hat, whatever type of cats. And the reality is, he pointed something out, is that those brothers get rejected too. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't approve of someone selling dope or stealing from somebody or beating somebody up just because he looked at them the wrong way. I don't agree with that. But I do acknowledge that everyone has their story. I've got my story. You have your story. And those people over there have their story, and those people over there have their story. So I respect and acknowledge that. I even liked how you said, "Hey, look, I've gotten rejected. I've been snubbed. I've been dissed by some potential lover or partner or whatever," and I can roll with that because I too have been snubbed and rejected. I know what it's like to be disrespected. I know what it's like to do all those things. Because ultimately, people are people. We're not a monolithic thing. People are multifaceted, multi multi-level, multifaceted. There's many layers to us. We're not just one thing or the other. And I think that's the mistake, is to caricature somebody or to stereotype someone. So kudos to you on bringing at least that insight to my mind. Um, I think your videos are informative. And again, it's always good to hear a perspective. And I like the fact that you are speaking out for the brothers. Just like there's another YouTuber by the name of, well, Dan Freeman. You mentioned him. I know you guys were having your difficulties, but I like the fact that even Dan Freeman is speaking up for the brothers. I like the fact that there's a guy by the name of G-Man Live Fev on it. He's speaking up for the brothers. I like the fact that there's a brother Tess Tizzle, the Ghetto Cyrano. He's speaking for the brothers, because I think too often, I don't want to bash the I don't want to bash the women, but I think more often than not, usually what happens in the mass media and what happens among women and even the general collective consciousness is that men are always depicted as the abuser, the rapist, the killer, the murderer, the one that's at fault when a relationship goes sour, or the one that basically can be beat up on verbally and psychologically. I'm not talking physical beat up on, just that we can just get beat up on and then we're just supposed to be like, okay, whatever. And I like the fact that brothers like you guys are saying, hey, look, like, we will love you women, we'll love the ladies, but we're not going to sit here and elevate you. We're not going to put you on this pedestal. We're not going to make you a god in our lives. Because what happens is that ultimately, I've discovered that you start making the woman the center of your world, you lose some of yourself. You get caught up in whatever she's into, whatever her mindset is, and then you start losing a bit of you. I even liked how you pointed out that a little bit of you, you give a little bit of yourself in the transactions, in the emotional and or social transactions that go on. I mean, I like that because I do believe you give a little bit of yourself, but they give a little bit of themselves too. So it is interesting. And sometimes I ask the question, am I an amalgam of the people that I've met? Not just the experiences that I've had, but ultimately the people that I've met. I've taken on a little bit of them. And that's a very interesting thought that you brought to the table. Well, hey man, I do dig your vids. I do enjoy the candid and at times raw and explicit way you express yourself. I'm digging I'm digging what you're putting out, man. Be easy like Sunday morning.